Good morning. And welcome to the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. You have picked a good day to be here. It is a very special day. My name is Leslie Takahashi. I serve as the lead minister of this congregation, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. We are so glad that you are here for this very special youth service. We are so blessed in this congregation to have so many youth who share their gifts with us, and we will get to see them. I want to call your attention to your order of service and the insert in your order of service. There are a number of announcements that you may want to see, and one of them is to look at the sign up for the 4x4 conversations, which are not dinner, they are dessert and discussion. There will not be dinner, but there is a sign up in the Borton Hall after the service, so we hope you will join us. Today, between services, we honored Bud Lemke and Ron Skilton. Bud was celebrating his 97th birthday, and Ron was celebrating his 95th birthday. And you may have missed the cake, but you have not missed the chance to sign the card, so we hope you will do that. We welcome you in the spirit of our living an energetic religious tradition. And we welcome you whether you're here almost every Sunday, here for the first time. We've got some folks back after a long absence, which is wonderful. And as always, we welcome our audience through our live stream. So welcome to our visitors. If you're visiting with us, can you raise a hand today so we can welcome you in just a few minutes? Wonderful, great. Welcome all.
Good morning. I'm Ron Annan. I'm a member of your Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. I want to invite all members and friends to join in the reading of our congregational mission, which is on the back side of your program. Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church is a welcoming religious community. We bring to life our Unitarian Universalist values as we seek truth and work for justice, nurture compassion and courage, reach out to each other and to our larger, bridge the divisions that wound the human family, transform ourselves and our world. I want to invite everybody for connection and refreshments in Borton Hall after the service. Everyone could meet somebody new today. Visitors are invited to take a red mug so we can greet you, and also to visit our umbrella table, where you can get more information about our future services and the way that we live our values. We even hold a brief information session every Sunday at 10:45, so you can find out more about that at the Rainbow Umbrella. And if a caring listener is somebody that you need today, you can find one over at the caring table also in Borton Hall. I have a couple other quick announcements as well. We are finishing up, we're in the last legs of our pledge drive. If you have pledged, thank you very much. If you would like to pledge and you haven't done so, there are pledge cards today. We're still a little bit short of our goal for the coming year. Or if you would like to increase your pledge by a little bit, you can do that by just repledging the new amount. Don't worry, we won't double count you, okay? But you can do that today in Borton Hall. Also today, we have a forum, a congregational forum from 1 to 2 p.m. And the two major things that we're going to talk about today at our forum is the capital campaign, about what we're dreaming about our campus, as well as talking about the budget. There's going to actually be presented a budget which the committee, the finance committee and the board worked through. And so you'll be able to see it so that in 2 weeks you can come back when we have our annual congregational meeting, where we, among other things, will be voting on that budget, okay? So this is your chance today to ask all sorts of questions about it, not that you can't ask them on Sunday or at the congregational meeting. That's June 2nd. So we'll be voting on that budget, as well as other important things, including nominations to the Legacy and Endowment Committee, nominations to the Nominating Committee, and nomination for Treasurer. If you can't make it, or if you prefer to vote by absentee ballot, you can do that if you contact Chuck Rosine, our office manager, by Friday, May 24th. So this coming Friday, if you contact Chuck, you'll be able to get an absentee ballot, and then your vote will count for the June 2nd meeting. If you're planning on coming, you can just vote then. Thanks, everybody. Welcome. It's great to be together.
Okay, so I'm going to invite our youth to just change pose for a minute. Right? During this time of our stewardship drive, we have been privileged to hear from members about why they give, and we are grateful that one of our youth advisors, Johanna McShane, will share this morning.
I'm your biggest fan. I would hope. Good morning. Good morning. When Leslie and Indigo asked me to talk today about why I give, I immediately struggled to think about what I could say. Not because I couldn't think of reasons I give, but because there are so many reasons I give, and I couldn't figure out how I'd narrow it down into the 3 minutes they're giving me to speak. But then I thought of these guys. I mean, look at these teenagers. What a marvelous, motley assortment of fantastic individuals. And as you can already see today, they are a powerful force together in this church and in the world. As a psychologist, I work with lots of teenagers. One of the things they often tell me is that they feel out of place in the world, that they don't quite fit in, or that they don't feel that the world understands them, sees them for who they are, or truly appreciates and welcomes their entire selves. More on that in a second. When Zach and I joined MDUC about 4 years ago, I wasn't exactly sure where either of us would find our niches in this community. I wasn't particularly concerned. It had been Zach who pushed for us to come to church, and I've come to trust over the last 16 years that he has a very good sense of where he and we should go next. The first thing I did was start Zach in RE classes. I could see how wonderful they were and how he found a home for himself here, all of himself. His creative, funny, inimitable, off the beaten path self. I found my first niche as one of your resident violinists. This is a great honor, and getting to play in this church makes me happier than you could even know. The musical family that hangs out in the general vicinity of that corner was my first sub-home within the larger home that is this church. In addition to music, I figured there'd be other ways I could contribute, more niches I could find, and more ways I could give back to this remarkable place that means so much to me and to my son. I joined the CYRE committee, and this year I started co-leading the high school youth group. Being a part of the RE program has become my second sub-home within the church. The teens we have in YRUU are extraordinary. They bring their full, often quite goofy selves to every activity. They show up with honesty. They speak their truths. They work with each other. They work through whatever comes up, and they hold together as a group. They care about each other. They care about this church, and they care about the world. In short, these are the teens, and this is the environment that my teenage patients are wishing for in their own lives. And we have it here, right here, every week. That this space for teens is a rare place is apparent to me as I listen to my teenage patients who do not have places like this to go and places where they can belong. I do give financially each year to this church, and I take my financial contributions seriously. Each year that we've been members, I've given what I'm able to, given our financial situation that year. I think the way I give the most, though, is in time, intention, energy, and commitment to being a positive guiding force in the lives of our teenagers and youth. I'm enormously and enduringly committed to helping foster an environment where these teens, these ones, can be their full and real selves, where they can explore and further delineate their values, where they can safely discover who they are and who they want to be in the world, and where they can continue to work on the ways they want to go out into the world and promote goodness and kindness and fairness. You might not always spot these teens each week, even though they're here. They are often about around campus, doing teen things, hanging out with each other, developing their friendships, thinking teen thoughts, eating donuts, lurking around like teenagers. That's one of the things I love about watching them. They feel so free to lurk, to think, to hang out, and to be themselves. And that's because this church gives them that space, and that's quite a gift. Thank you.
I believe trust is an important value. From infancy to adulthood, trust is an integral part of our existence. One way to build trust is to try to make connections with people around you. So today, for our exchange of greetings, we want to shake things up a bit. I would like to invite you to find someone who is a different age than you and ask them one of the following questions about trust. These questions are also written in your order of service. Who have you trusted since childhood and why? Who have you not trusted and why? And how does a person earn your trust? Continue asking these questions during coffee hour. And as you leave church today and carry on with your day, continue to think about the role trust has played and continues to play in your daily life.
Moments so dear. I'm Kendra.
I'm Nicholas.
A relationship without trust is like having a cell phone with no service. And what do you do with a cell phone with no service? You play games.
Trust takes years to build, seconds to break, forever to repair.
If you want to be trusted, be honest. If you want to be honest, be true. If you want to be true, be yourself.
Without communication, there is no relationship. Without respect, there is no love. Without trust, there is no reason to continue.
Relationships are about trust. If you have to be a detective, it's time to move on.
Allow yourself to hope, to believe, to trust again. Don't let a few bad memories prevent you from living a good life.
I am a good enough person to forgive you, but not stupid enough to trust you again.
Trust is earned when actions meet words.
Give the person you love honesty, respect, trust, and passion, or be prepared to watch from the sidelines if someone else does.
Apology accepted, trust denied.
Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to the iron strings.
3 things you should never break: promises, trust, and someone's heart.
Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none.
I imagine trust as these invisible hands that we stretch out into the world looking for someone to hold on to as we walk into the unknown future.
When something feels off, it is. Trust yourself.
Trust is like the air we breathe. When it's present, nobody really notices, but when it's absent, everyone notices.
When you're surrounded by all these people, it can be even lonelier than when you're by yourself. You can be in a huge crowd, but if you don't feel like you can trust anybody or talk to anybody, you feel like you're really alone.
You may be deceived if you trust too much, but you will live in torment if you don't trust enough.
The only way you can make a person trustworthy is to trust them.
I don't need a certain number of friends, just a number of friends I can be certain of.
Rise and body your spirit. 1013 in the teal book. 1013 in the teal book. As I'm recalling when my own kids were in this group, this is a song they sang all the time. Open my heart. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. With harmony. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. One more time. Open my
Now we would like to invite those young and young at heart to join us for our interactive story. We are looking for some sheep volunteers to join Jasmine and Nicholas up front. So your role as sheep is whenever you hear the word sheep, you say baa. So let's practice. Sheep. Baa. That wasn't loud enough. Sheep. Baa. Okay, everyone in the congregation now. Sheep. Baa. Good. That was good. Okay. A boy called Peter lived with his parents in a village on the hillside. His parents, like most of the other people in the village, were sheep farmers. So everybody in the village took turns looking after the sheep.
Good morning, Mother and Father.
Good morning, Peter, and happy birthday.
That's right. You are now 15 years old. That means you're old enough to take your turn shepherding.
Better keep your eyes out open at all times, or the wolves might get the sheep.
Or the little children.
Say, where's Peter going?
I heard he's old enough to start shepherding.
Attaboy, Peter.
Make sure you stay alert now.
Yeah, you're counting on you to keep our sheep in our town safe.
But Peter was too easily bored, and he found it very tiresome being on the hillside with only sheep for company, so he'd find ways to amuse himself. Fishing, lumberjacking, and riding horses. Unfortunately, nothing kept him amused for very long. Then he hit upon a brilliant idea.
Whoa!
Peter has seen a wolf.
Quick, everyone, we need to chase it away.
And get the children inside to safety.
Where is it? Where's the wolf?
This is no joking matter, boy.
Exit. The entire village was very annoyed when they discovered that there wasn't any wolf at all. And that night, Peter was punished for what he did. Eventually, the villagers forgot about the incident, and once again, it was Peter's turn to mind the sheep.
Make sure you stay alert now.
Yeah, you're counting on you to keep our sheep and our entire town safe.
And once again, Peter got really bored.
Whoa!
Peter has seen a wolf.
Quick, everyone, we need to chase it away.
And get the children inside to safety.
Where is it? Where's the wolf?
Where are you going to learn, boy? Huh? This is no joking matter.
After being punished a little more severely than last time, and after having the entire village upset with him, Peter thought he should now try to behave.
Make sure you behave now.
Yeah, no more goofing around.
But this time, as he was tending to the sheep, he really did see a wolf. Peter.
Whoa!
Peter again. He just cannot help himself.
Seems like to be a center of attention.
Well, he's not gonna fool us this time. Oh no! Look, there really was a wolf this time. Look, all the sheep are dead.
You mean our children actually are in danger?
At last, Peter had learned his lesson. When you tell lies, there are consequences, and people will eventually stop believing you, even when you do finally tell the truth. And now we'd like to invite you to sing our sheep back to their seats. Childcare is available for kindergarten and younger. First grade and up, please return to your seats.
Ordinarily, I go to the woods alone, with not a single friend, for they are all smilers and talkers, and therefore unsuitable. I don't really want to be witnessed talking to the catbirds or hugging the old black oak tree. I have my way of praying, as you no doubt have yours. Besides, when I am alone, I can become invisible. I can sit on the top of a dune as motionless as the uprise of weeds, until the foxes run by, unconcerned. I can hear the almost unhearable sound of the roses singing. If you've ever gone into the woods with me, I must love you very much.
Sit comfortably in your seat. Eyes can be open or closed. Feet planted. Imagine yourself surrounded by the people in your life that you trust. Think of a time in your life when you lost trust in someone you were close to. Think about how that made you feel. Think about a time in your life when someone you were close to lost trust in you. Think about how that made you feel. Think about a time in your life when trust was gained. Think about how that made you feel. Once again, imagine yourself surrounded by the people in your life that you trust. These people who surround you, love you, trust you, let the warmth of their love and trust flow into you as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, observe this warmth flow back out to the people you trust. As you breathe in again, think about the power and importance of this trust. As you breathe out, let that trust radiate around you. Like breathing, trust is a two-way street. Breathe in again, thinking about all the people who have put their trust in you. Exhale again, thinking about all the people who you have put your trust in. When you are ready, open your eyes and return your focus to the pulpit.
Hi, I'm Jamie Finn, and my homily is One Step at a Time. So me and my friend Sammy have been close for, well, as long as I can remember. From playgroups to birthday parties to sleepovers, we were super close. It was our last week together at the same school. All we knew was that we needed to make this last few days count. What a great way to end the school year was with a long a week-long sleepaway adventure at the Russian River. It was Wednesday, and we were all anticipating the challenge course since Saturday. We came upon the most challenging course of all Camp Westminster Woods, the river crossing. It was a tightrope 20 feet above, stretching all across the river, and man, it was scary. I knew I needed Sammy's full trust, and she would need mine to get across the river. About 4 groups of 2 decided to try. Of course, we were the last ones. We sat on the edge of the river, contemplating our decisions, feeling unsure if we actually wanted to go through with this every time a new group went up. We were together, and that was all the strength I needed. As the last group before us was heading back, Sammy and I stepped into our harness. My legs were shaking, and my heart felt like it was beating right out of my chest. We walked up, and I followed behind her. Now, before we could even start, we would have to climb a redwood. 1 step at a time, and we were already 8 feet and climbing. We reached the platform. There was just enough room for the instructor, Sammy, and me. The long, thick wire stretched across the river. I could see the other side across the thick wires and wooden obstacles. I looked down at the Russian River. It was fast. You could see the white water and the logs sticking up. I listened to the sound of the water splashing on the sides of the rock and the faint sound of the trees in the wind. It was cold outside, but my hands were warm. I reached for Sammy's hand, and we walked the tightrope together. As I lifted my left foot up, she would put her right. As the rope started to sway, we would giggle and scream at the same time. 1 step at a time, we got closer to the end. The trust started to fill me. With each step, a new connection was made with Sammy. Our trust was stronger than ever before. We achieved our challenge by working cohesively. I learned that day that trust is built over time. Before you trust others, you must trust yourself. Let yourself be vulnerable. Let in the trust in whatever way it comes, and even if it takes 1 step at a time. Thank you.
Let this be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us. A community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of this dream. Will the ushers please come forward to collect the offering?
Let us take a moment to dedicate our offering. You'll find the words in your order of service. Please say them with me. To the work of this community in transforming ourselves and our world, we dedicate ourselves and our offering.
I'm Claire Solstice, and this is a story that happened in late March, but I didn't find out about it until mid-April. Some friends and I were going to hang out to celebrate my 18th birthday downtown. Finding a date was a little tricky with everyone's schedules, but we found a Friday afternoon we could all get together. One of my friends, Zoe Snortum Phelps, found out she had a conflicting arrangement where she would have to choose between hanging out with friends or going to the other arrangement. I suggested leaving early or arriving late, and Zoe said she would figure something out. When the day came around, Zoe hung out with us the whole time. At the time, I totally forgot she had other plans. Mid-April, my mom asked me if I knew Zoe didn't go to her other arrangement because she decided celebrating my 18th birthday was more important. It pleasantly shocks me that she would do that for me. I'm so happy that one of my closest friends would do that. To do that for a friend makes me think of her very highly. Zoe has my trust, but after knowing this, she definitely has it. Open.
here we are. My name's Alondra Hagerstrand, and this is going to be my homily. I have two stories today. One on one very important topic, and it's on trust and how it is lost. My first story is about my mother. Now, don't get my wonderful stepmother Rosie and my mother Ashley mixed up. They are very different people. For one thing, I can trust Rosie, something I cannot do with my mom, which brings me to my first story. I had come out as gay, which I had identified as then, to my dad and my stepmom. My mom was next, and I just had to tell her. A little background on my mom: she's an evangelical Christian, and a very homophobic evangelical Christian. I told her, and nothing terrible happened, just what I was expecting. It's just a phase. There'll be a guy out there for you. Stupid phrases like that. I ignored them. But a few months later, one of my most trusted friends told me that she found out I was gay from a post that my mom had posted on Facebook. So she went through her screenshots, and sure enough, it was there. It said something along the lines of, "I'm so glad that my daughter feels comfortable coming out to me as a lesbian. I feel joy in knowing that we can trust each other." Well, Mom, you're wrong. I never felt comfortable. I was kind of nervous, kind of really scared, but comfortable? Nowhere near close. And I cannot trust her anymore. She outed me to the whole internet. That's something you cannot do. It's just not allowed. I should have been able to pick who I told and who I didn't tell, but instead, I didn't get a choice. My second story is about a childhood friend. I want to keep her privacy, so we'll call her Ginny. Ginny and I had been ride or die friends since 3rd grade and good friends since first. I mean, she was allowed to come over to my house uninvited. My siblings called her sister, and she literally transferred school so we could be together. We were inseparable. But then I came out. In 7th grade, I told everyone that I was gay. She stopped coming over as much, but I'm pretty oblivious, so I didn't notice anything was going wrong. When something did happen, it came out of nowhere. She invited me to her brother's football game. And no, he's not actually doing the football, he was in marching band. Anyway, we went to get snacks, and she told a funny joke. I laughed and gave her a hug, but it was a side-ish, back-ish hug, so my arms went right around her shoulders. No comment, just kept the conversation going. It was normal. Well, I mean, it seemed normal. But on Monday, she told me she needed to talk. So I went to her, and she told me that that hug I gave her made her uncomfortable. And that was a hug that I had given her time and time again for 8 years. She told me we needed boundaries. I told her that she needed to trust me. I was her best friend. We had known each other for 8 years. But yet again, no comment. When I asked her if I had anything to do with my sexuality, she flipped. She told me that I was wrong to accuse her, and of course not. I left. We ignored each other for the next 3 days. And all day, the rest was a blur. I remember her finally admitting that the whole fiasco had to do with my sexuality, the 3rd day. She said, "I just thought you might hit on me." We stopped being friends. We didn't talk unless it was for school, and now she goes to a different school. But in both these situations, I lost trust in people, and both these people were very important people in my life. Thank you.
Trusting you is my decision. Proving me right is your choice.
All you have to do